My name is Edgar Crockett. I graduated in 2017 with my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and then I graduated again in 2022 with my master's in engineering and technology management, or ETM for short. And then now I work as a construction development manager for Shea Properties. As my job title says, I manage the construction and development project from inception to delivery, basically. So kind of at a high level, it's from acquiring and preparing land to designing and performing due diligence around that land, and then selecting and managing our design teams. So architects are engineers from mechanical, electrical to structural, civil, even some sound engineering. And then also working with our more visual aspects like our interior designers or sign consultants. And then once that process is taken care of and we have any financing secured, I manage the construction process from start to finish. So from the first shovel in the ground all the way through turnover and then any warranty down the road, I manage that whole process. So while that's kind of a high level summary of what I do, each project is super different. We manage anything from industrial water campus projects to multifamily buildings or warehouses, even some infrastructure projects for future residential or commercial developments. I had sort of two options coming out of Mines. One, I was referred to through some campus connections, just some folks sending my resume to some people that they knew. And then the second, I got truly just through career fair and going and talking to people at booths. I was pursuing both of those paths individually, and one of them was for a more heavy industrial company that was doing roads and bridges and tunnels, and that would have taken me all around the world, all around the US, every few years moving around. And then the other was for a local contractor that was based out in Golden that did all their work in kind of the Denver metro area. So for me, staying in Colorado ended up being one of my top priorities. So I started as an assistant project engineer right out of college with that local construction company. CFC Construction is who they are. And then over the course of my 5.5-year career with them, I worked up through their process and was promoted from APM or assistant project engineer to project engineer, and then ultimately up to assistant project manager and project manager. And then as I was working as a project manager, we had been hired by a company to build a project out in Highlands Ranch, and we worked with them for about 2 years for that project to be finalized. And ultimately then I was recruited by that company that had hired us, and that was Shea Properties. So I've been working with them for almost 2 years now. And kind of with the degrees mixed in there, I knew that I wanted to get my master's degree. And luckily enough, I had a company that was willing to help pay for that. So I utilized some education benefits through my work to go back to school to just enhance sort of my career development, and keep working towards the bigger and better things that I wanted to accomplish. Ultimately, how the initial inception of me being recruited to the company that I'm at now came about was just from sort of an offhand conversation that I had with somebody else about my future plans and future goals in the industry. And really what that came from was how Mines taught us to network, especially in a format like, career fair, or what we tell first year students, where it's, even if you're not looking for a job or an interview, go establish your skills at networking and talking to folks. And so when the opportunity came, when we were just having a casual conversation of, what are your goals? What's your future look like in the industry, it was a point where I could answer that because I had been in a point where, or been in those situations where, hey, I know what I want for my career. Let me sell myself to you just like I have for, the 4 years that I was at Mines. And so it was being in the space to say like, yeah, I have a plan for the future, and here's an opportunity that I can take to say like, yeah, my next steps, I want to be in the development side of things and utilize that connection to, I didn't think it would be what it was and ultimately being recruited, but I thought it could lead to some, networking where I might have an opportunity in the future. So I think that was really important to have a plan and have a goal for the future, and then recognize the opportunities where you can take to say, this connection might help me sometime in the future, and how do I establish that networking and that relationship? When I was debating moving from my previous company to where I am now, I had called one of my old supervisors and mentors for some advice, just because one of my values is loyalty. And I was having a hard time justifying leaving a company that had treated me very well, that was a good company, that their kind of core values aligned with my core values. And I wasn't looking for a job at the time where this opportunity came up. So I was struggling with that decision to sort of break that loyalty and go to a different company. And something that he told me that really stuck with me was that I have to do what's best for me and my family, because at the end of the day, those are the people that are going to be with me for the rest of my life. And so I made the move because, even though I value loyalty, I knew it was the right decision for myself and my family. But I made sure to do that transition with honesty and integrity and have communication with it, because I knew that I still wanted to be loyal to them because of how they had treated me. So I wanted to make sure that we left on good terms through that break. And so outside of that, I think that, I value hard work and integrity in that hard work, and being kind to others and being honest and fair. All of those things I think help me move up through the companies that I worked for and put me in the spot where others recognized those values. But ultimately, I think that as students are making their transition to professional companies, everybody these days has some sort of mission statement. They usually have core values posted. You can find what those things are. I find that a lot of companies strive to meet them, but until you are at the company, talking to the people, working with them, you don't know how the people at that company are implementing those things. So I think it's important for people to understand what you value, and be a part of companies who have those same values or have values that are close to them, but also understand that it's really about the people that are at the company and less about what may or may not be on their website when you were first applying. I think I'll go back to the same advice that I received from my mentor: is do the thing that's best for you and your family, and make those decisions with honesty and integrity to the best of your ability. Additionally, I think it's important for students that are, especially students that are graduating Mines going into the workforce, is to try not to compare yourself with others that you're graduating with. Everybody wants to come out of Mines with that magical 6-figure plus offer, but that's not going to happen for everybody. But that's okay, because what I can promise is that for everybody that I've talked to that has graduated from Mines that maybe didn't get that, big offer that everybody wants, the skills that you learned at Mines will help you rise quickly through whatever career path that you take. And so don't be discouraged if not all your applications result in an interview, or not all your offers are as big as some of the kind of banner offers that other people are getting. Getting your foot in the door and getting started in your career is going to be great because of who you are and what you learned at Mines. And I promise you will rise up faster than folks that didn't go to Mines. And then finally, I think I struggled with finding some purpose and meaning the first few years of my career. I learned that there are many ways to find impact outside of what may be your actual work product. So I found mine in making a positive impact on the people that I worked with or worked for or that I hired. So don't be afraid to take a position because you think the work product might not be your ultimate purpose. It doesn't have to be a groundbreaking purpose. You can use where you're at to gain knowledge and experience to work towards where you want to be and find purpose in other ways outside of just what you produce in your career.